plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. Behind the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays. Network. Hard sports all plays. Network. We on top of our game. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays.
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us, from all of us here at the ASAP Network.
What's up, everybody? Ready? Let's go. Let's roll now.
All right, what's good? What's going? Good evening and welcome to the All Sports and All Plays Network. This is your boy Freddie Henderson. What's going on with you guys?
What's going on, everybody?
All right.
And today's special for Jay.
You already know what it is. You can hear the birds singing and chirping this morning. I knew something else was different about this morning. Then we got a tweet, from Mr. JJ Watt coming down to the desert. Okay.
All right. Well, as you can see, Jay is on cloud nine. He's on a whole nother level right now, ladies and gentlemen. Right next to me, got the wonderful Chris Brown. What's up with it, Chris?
What's up, man? It's Monday. I'm back in school, sadly, but that's not important. Sports is important. There's a lot to talk about today.
All right, you hear the school not important.
No, school's my grades is good. That's why I don't gotta worry. I'm dean's list. I don't gotta worry.
All right. Then we got Kenny coming back. What's up with Kenny?
Same old, different day. What's good, everybody?
All right. And then we have a special guest on the Real Talk, Miss Rachel L. Hill. How you doing, Miss Rachel?
Good. How you guys doing?
Great. Good. We thank you for coming on once again. We really appreciate that. Please let our viewers know. Tell them about yourself, who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. My name is Rachel Hill, and I go by the First Lady of Sports. So that is on Instagram and Twitter as well. So I do my own sports talk show called Her in the Huddle, and it's Monday through Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WOVU 95.9 FM. I'm also the sports director of our station, and I also cover all of the teams in the city right now. Right now, things are a little different because of COVID. So I'm pretty much covering them, consists of watching the game at home and logging into press conferences. So that's how things are done right now. So graduate of the Ohio State University. So if somebody got a problem with it, I can exit right now. And I'm a master's in sports management from Cleveland State University. So I love sports and I love watching sports. I love reporting on sports and I just love sports as life. So happy to be here. And thank you so much for having me here.
No problem. I have to ask the first question. This might be a little emotional for you. You covered Cleveland, the Cavaliers. Mm-hmm. How is it covering them without LeBron there?
There's a huge difference. It's night and day, obviously. It's very cavernous. It's very empty. It is rough sitting there during the losses. So I think, in all seriousness, you appreciated the greatness of him and you appreciated his presence. Cleveland was alive, Cleveland has always been on the map, but LeBron put that Hollywood spotlight on Cleveland that we didn't have before. And you have to appreciate, despite how you feel about him personally, you have to appreciate him being a once-in-a-generational type player in everything he did for Cleveland. Because as much as certain people are mad at him for leaving, they cannot deny the amount of money that they made during his 11-year presence here. So they can be mad all they want to while they line their pockets. So it's very, very tough. Obviously you have a very young team with a lot of growing pains. So it's a little exhausting, especially when you cover every game. But, like I said, this year has been a lot different because of COVID. So it just is what it is. They're still a team that's playing, even though people might not believe that. You still got to cover them and give them their shine. And, maybe some nights they might surprise you. The other night they beat the Philadelphia 76ers with Joel Embiid. So, you never know. They beat Brooklyn twice, hey, you never know. That's why you play the
Stop
game.
pumping your fist, Freddie.
Yeah.
Miss Hill, you know what? I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm not one of the fans that was upset when LeBron left. I was very happy.
Of course not,
Because he
he's
came
a
to your
Lakers
team.
fan.
He came to your team. I was lobbying for him to come to Philly. I mean, just wanted to go to LA.
So let's keep on moving to the next question. Chris, we'll let you ask the next question. I'm just here.
Yes. I'm curious to know what made you want to be in sports journalism.
You know what? The funny thing is, one time, I don't know. It was. I'll tell you kind of how I fell in love with sports. First of all, I don't have any brothers, so on my street, my next door neighbors were boys, and I was a tomboy, so I would be out playing with them, playing football, basketball, baseball, any Browns, and I really didn't know I was a girl until I hit puberty, and I was relegated to cheerleading, and I was like, well, I don't want to be no cheerleader, so I started playing my own sports, field hockey and lacrosse. So when I got to Ohio State, I was actually going to major in journalism. But at the time I decided to pick that major, I was a senior. And they said that they're not taking applicants for another 2 years. And so I was already a senior. I couldn't afford to stay down there another 2 years, not even that year. So I was like, I'll just get my degree in something else. And I had a friend who her ex-husband was friends with somebody on the radio. And at the time they were doing live broadcasts out in public. And I went to their live broadcast a couple of times, got on the microphone, and it was like, hey, why don't you come in studio? And started as like doing updates and stuff like that. Then got on the microphone a little bit more, and that show ended. And then they wanted me to come do another show. And then I just started doing all these shows, and opportunities came my way. I did move out of state to Richmond, Virginia for a couple of years, and I didn't do any sports. But pretty much as soon as I came back, there was a paper that was looking for somebody to cover the Cavs. And within a month or so of coming back, I was in the Cavs locker room covering LeBron and, then the Indians, and it just kind of went from there. So there's been a lot of people who have blessed me and advocated for me in order to be able to have the opportunities that I have. So there's so many people I'd like to thank. I'm not about to do Academy Awards type thing, but there are so many people who have enabled me to be where I'm at today. So I'm very grateful to them, and I'm very blessed, and I'm just glad that they believed in me.
Thank you.
Cool. Jay?
Yeah. Well, seeing that you do cover the Cleveland teams, what do you feel the state of the Cleveland Browns are in? Like, what's next for them? Is OBJ still does he still have a place on this roster? And if not, where do they go from there?
He absolutely has a place on this roster because nothing can happen to him this season coming up. Now, after the season coming up, it's whatever, but contractually, he's here this full next season. So they can't do anything to him because of an injury clause he has in his contract. So they're going to make it fit. It's going to work. I know we were going to talk about dysfunctional franchises, but I'll just put it out there now. The Cleveland Browns was the most dysfunctional franchise since 1999 when they came back, and now they finally have it together. So if anything, this organization, Kevin Stefanski, they're going to figure out how to make it work. It didn't really appear to work that much with him and Baker. That chemistry wasn't there last year. You saw flashes of greatness a little bit this year, and then he got hurt. I kind of blamed his ACL, Terrell Baker throwing that interception. Whatever. I took a little heat for that. But I think Baker has gotten that confidence, and Baker has taken that step and grown as a player. He's going to figure out how to work with OBJ, because I'm like, well, if you're scared to throw it to OBJ, that's a Baker issue. That's not an OBJ issue. So Baker needs to figure that out.
I say it every week.
So it looks like, he's learning how to figure it out. Now you have to incorporate it because this team needs Odell. They have no deep threat. They have no speed. They have short-hand wide receivers, but they have no speed and no deep threat. And you need Odell. Even in the play he had against Dallas, that running play where he ran for 60-yard touchdown, you need a playmaker like that. Somebody defenses need to plan for. Because I'm sorry, if I got a game plan for Jarvis, that's kind of easy.
That's
All right,
So,
okay.
they will figure it out. I wholeheartedly believe that. And, I stand for OBJ because he helped me go viral. I don't know if you guys saw that video of him taking his shoes off his feet and giving them to the kid during training camp. That was my video. So thank you, Odell, for having me on, NFL Network, Good Morning America, all that. So whatever they want for Odell, I'm be like, give it to him.
All right, Kenny.
Yeah, talk about the covering virtual press conferences. Like the Scrum is kind of different, where you could kind of jump in and put your questions and talk about how the difference is now doing that virtually.
Well, each team kind of runs theirs a little different. I don't do the Browns ones that much per se. The Browns are always a kind of a notorious organization to work with, so I didn't cover any press conferences this year for them. But the way the Cavs and Indians do it, with the Cleveland Indians, is kind of a free-for-all. With the Cleveland Cavaliers, you go on the Zoom and you do a raise your hand thing, so they call on you. So it's just all kind of different. But, obviously, in the Browns locker room, the scrum, around Odell, it just depends on who the player is, how the scrum goes. But, obviously it's very different. And sometimes you might have press conferences at the same time. Like you might be doing a Cleveland Cavalier shoot around and then, the Indians are going and talking. So, sometimes I miss them because there's so much going on and I'm working and doing all this other stuff. So, it's just very different. One of my concerns was that when the pandemic was over, the sports teams would go back to just doing Zoom conferences and not letting us in the locker room. But one of the things that I've been hearing is that the players actually miss us. They act like they don't want to talk to us.
Okay.
They act like they don't want to talk to us. They actually miss us and want us there because also we help them build their brands too. So I would want, the reporters to be back in the locker room with us too. So I think we'll go back to doing that. But, maybe another season, we do the Zoom press conferences, but we have to make sure it's safe for everybody. So, but it's different. It's very weird. And, you're standing at a screen all day, kind of like, what we're doing like you. And the players are kind of antsy behind because I think they prefer to, have us there. So it's just very different. But what is normal about 2020, 2021?
True story.
I had a question, maybe when you're starting up, in this career, I'm not going to get too political in this, but, it's already hard, for certain folks to be in the career that you're in. But you as a female, how hard was it, on the coming up into this field to put you in a position where you're at now?
It's very hard. I still face the same problems that I started when I was doing this in 2005. I'm the only Black woman in the locker room, unless there was a national person that would come in. I don't blend in. I stick out. You see me, you know who I am. I have to be very careful how I interact with the players because I always feel as if that they're always looking for a reason for my credentials to be taken away. They're always looking for, if I'm in there for a nefarious reason and not in there to be professional. So I always watch how I act. I always keep, my eyes above board and I'm always respectful. So, it's very hard here because we're in the top media market in Cleveland, number 18. So people come here to work and retire. They don't come here to really go somewhere else that much. So you have the same people who've kind of been on air for 40 years here. So you got to wait for them to retire or, not to be kind of crude, but yeah, it's very hard. So I kind of have to make the opportunities that I have for myself because eventually, I want to move to television because, you can only do so much and master so much. I'm the type of person, I'm always ready for the next challenge. And like LeBron says, I don't put a limit or ceiling on what I can do. So it's very difficult. Organizations give me issues. Coaches give me issues. Unfortunately, sometimes, and I ask, there's one person in particular who it's funny because I admire this person greatly and they are giving me some problems every time I ask questions. And one person I was talking to was like, well, they don't trust you just yet. I'm like, trust me. I'm like, you don't have to trust me to be nice to me. I mean, you don't have to, know me. It was like, they don't know you yet. They don't know what your agenda is. If I'm asking you a simple question about a play, there's no agenda. I think that's very straight up. You know what I'm saying? So there's no agenda. My agenda is just like everybody else in the locker room. And if I ask you something straight up, that's what the question is. There's nothing behind it. I'm just trying to get an answer, from you about what happened on this play. So, I have some issues and problems, but, I have a job to do, and some people don't want me in there. And, that's very unfortunate, but I'm going to do what I do, and that's the you problem, not a me problem. You make it my problem, but we're gonna figure out how to get it resolved.
Right. Do anyone of you guys have any other questions for Ms. Hill?
I have one more. Which one do you enjoy more, writing or sports radio?
Actually, I like writing the least. It gives me anxiety, especially writing against deadline. Like I cover high school football for the Cleveland Plain Dealer, and you got to get everything in at a certain time before it prints because it's printed and online. And it's just, what happens is, you're trying to obtain information from all these high school football games, and people aren't responding to your request for information. And especially like with Cleveland Public Schools, you want to give them the coverage, but, because they're not talked about, it's always the suburbs. But if you don't get me information, there's nothing I can really say except for just report your score. But just having to work against deadline kind of gives me anxiety. So that's my least favorite thing to do. My favorite thing to do is TV or radio, because once that camera or that microphone cuts off, I'm done. Unless you move afterwards. But I like the quickness and I like going home. So that's the one good thing about covering these games. I can pass the writer room and everybody in there still writing, and I'm on my way home.
There you go. Yo, Jay, you have a last question or?
No, not at the moment.
All right, Kenny, what about you?
Yeah, I just wanted, you kind of touched on it a little bit. Who's been some of your biggest mentors that's helped you in the business and helped you with your career?
Have you guys heard of Ronnie Duncan?
No, I haven't.
No, I can't say I have.
Or you guys are all throughout the country, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So Ronnie Duncan was a local sports reporter here, so he's been very instrumental in my success. So he actually went away from Cleveland and came back, originally from Baltimore. So his daughter, Jerika Duncan, if you watch CBS News, she anchors on the weekend. So, his daughter is, gotten to the top. So I'm sure he's very proud of her, but he's been someone very instrumental to my success. I would say Delvis Valentine, Branson Wright, Jay Williams, the manager of my station, giving me the opportunity. I'm the only, female. My show was one of the only sports shows in the country done by all women outside of ESPN radio. And at the time, Bleacher Report just recently got there. So we were one of the only, sports, team of women holding it down. So that's a huge feat, especially in the state of Ohio. And, with Jay and WOVU, I've had opportunities to cover, all of the teams. So there's been so many people who, introduced me to that person. Like I said, like this would be the Oscars if you knew the name and y'all start turning the music on, like you got to shut up. But, I'm just grateful for everybody because that's so important, having people believe in you, because it gets tough. You doubt yourself, you doubt your abilities, you doubt your knowledge. But when you have people who believe in you and elevate you, and that's one of the things that we don't do enough as a culture. We need to support each other because there's enough money out here. All of us can get it. We just have to continue to support each other, keep pushing, and keep making opportunities for each other.
Cool.
There's been a lot of people.
I have one other question to piggyback on what Kenny said. Have there been any athlete maybe that reached out to you, or somebody, a celebrity like on the ESPN side, that kind of reached out to you maybe to give you some support or maybe help you out or anything like that?
No, it's one of those things where you have to reach out to them. So, and I could do a lot better with that, quite honestly, because I do have, numbers in my phone and stuff like that. Following up with them, it's like it's striking that fine balance where you don't want to annoy them. You know what I'm saying? But you want to make sure that, you're getting something from them, because with somebody like that, they get to the top, not saying time is money, but when you come to them, you want to make sure you come to them legit and right, and that way they know what direction to point you in. So, people have offered to help me, and I'm taking them up on that opportunity. Like, I had the opportunity to have Stephen A. Smith on my talk show, and he gave us half an hour. So that was monumental. I'm looking forward to having Magic Johnson on my show soon. So, like I said, there's been a lot of people. Chris Haynes has been a great person for me, too. You guys know who he is with TNT.
Oh, yeah.
Some time in Cleveland. And he got a very humbling start on a blog. So, somebody like that is a great person to look up to. But, You know, there's been a lot of people and a lot of different things. But yeah, this is kind of the business where you got to touch base with people and follow up with them. They ain't really hounding you down that much, if at all, unless y'all really, really tight. But I do have some numbers in my phone, and I could do a lot better with them.
Right. Cool. Hey, I think we had a wonderful interview with you, but ladies and gentlemen, it is not over. We're gonna Miss Hill's gonna be on here she get to see me and me take down Chris Brown.
Oh boy.
Your only fan is in the comments. Your one and only fan is here for you today, Freddie.
Here we go.
Shout out to you, Miss Sheila. You see the last name. Shout out to you, Mom Dukes.
Miss Hill, this is going to be a show to you because you get to see in person me take down Chris Brown.
Yes, sir.
Started your little slick talk earlier with the little Bron.
Yeah, we all heard you know.
We already know where you was going.
All right. So let's get on to it. You guys know how we start the show. We always start off with the NFL hot take. Jay, since you're the one,
you gotta bring it to me.
All right, Chris.
I'm a parlay Jay. Listen, Jay, I wrote this down this morning before I started class. First class is at 10 a.m. I got all my notes ready for the show. I had it written down that every single team in the NFC West will make the playoffs this year. And then JJ Watt goes to the Cardinals. That just makes it more sweeter. Honestly, because with the 49ers getting healthy, I'm seeing them making a push. Cardinals adding JJ Watt, and I think they're going to make some key pieces throughout this all season. I'm seeing them making a push. I'll be honest, I don't see the Bears making it again to the playoffs. I don't know if two NFC East teams were going to make it. And when I look at, the NFC divisions, I'm liking the NFC West. I don't like the Saints this year. I'll be honest. It's a couple teams in the NFC I'm questioning them. And when I look at the NFC West, I'm liking all teams. So I truly believe we're going to see all four teams in the playoffs this year.
We're by far the strongest division in football.
I don't think it's close.
I think you're making a stretch with San Francisco. You're giving them too much credit, man. San Fran, until Jimmy finishes more than 8 to 10 games without limping up the field, I can't give it to him.
Or is he even going to be the quarterback next year?
That's true.
I don't know if that's
they're peaking at Teddy Bridgewater. They are peaking at Teddy Bridgewater, and I mean Teddy would definitely be an upgrade to me.
It's an upgrade, but it's not. You're not going to the elite status though. You want to upgrade, you gotta go to elite. So
yeah, and you're gonna need some eliteness back there because now with JJ Watt, Chandler Jones, and Hassan Reddick, and if we keep Marcus Golden there, then you got Jordan Phillips. I'm telling you, my hot take right here. You heard it. We are winning the division.
Oh man,
we are winning the division.
You talking about the Arizona Cardinals?
Oh yeah,
Cardinals fan.
It's a game on. Hold on, it's a game on. Let me watch.
The game is on as of this morning.
Playing right now.
As of this morning, this game is on. That little Tweety Bird said it. Look, we are going to win the division. And
you going further with this?
Huh?
You going further with this? I thought you were stopping it. You going
Me too. I just said I don't know how far it's going to take this one.
We're aiming for a first round bye. That's my hot take right there.
You got a lighter in your hand. What you doing with that?
It's hot. It was hot. It was a hot take.
What you do with that lighter before the show?
Before the show? I got it ready.
Yeah, we might need a little.
Here. So that was my hot take. I can make that flavor.
Y'all went 8-8 last year. So you saying JJ Watt is that entire piece to take y'all to the Super Bowl?
And he's going to stay
So
healthy.
I didn't say Super Bowl. I said first round bye for my hot take. However, JJ Watt is going to do a lot for us. Chandler Jones is a premier pass rusher, even with the double team. You got Jordan Phillips in the middle. Now, and the thing about that makes it just come in full circle was Hassan Reddick this year. Him showing out. Oh, really? Him showing out. And then adding JJ Watt, it's going to be a wrap. It's going to be a wrap.
You said first round bye indicative of the first.
Hassan Reddick's a free agent, though. I don't know if y'all going to have the money for him.
We can
we talked about this last week is that you need that rotation of linemen to make sure that JJ Watt holds up throughout the season.
And Jones coming off an injury.
Say that again?
I said you got two guys that with Jones. I'm not seeing injury prone, but he's coming off an injury. You got JJ Watt, who right now needs to be a situational pass rusher. Trust me, I like the Cardinals, but when you got two older guys at that DM position, you need young depth.
I understand where you're going, but
and not even. I think you need a good defensive tackle, above average
That's
tackle.
the thing. Corey Peters was hurt last year. Jordan Phillips stepped up. Now they're both being there healthy. We got Chandler Jones. If we can get Marcus Golden to not demand too much money, tag Hassan Reddick, and let's roll. The big thing here is Chandler Jones is about to get extended. That'll free up some money. That'll free up some money. Cut Justin Pugh. We're gonna move our money around, man. The fact of the matter is, the big part of this is done. We got JJ Watt. That's the big part. We can pick up the scraps on the way. We got the big luggage in the bag. That's what it is.
All right, Kenny, give us a hot take.
All right, my hot take is Cam Newton won't be a starting quarterback next season.
Oh, my heart.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I hate this. You want to support the brothers, but I just don't see him getting an opportunity as a starting quarterback next season, especially, coming off injury, this, subpar season, wasn't able to make it happen with the Patriots. That's my hot take. Yeah, he's not going to be a starting quarterback.
If he's backing up, the only place I want to see him backing up is in Kansas City. I'll be honest.
What?
Ring chase.
I'm not going to see the field. At least,
you said back up. You said back up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if for him, though, he would have to go to a situation where he can at least compete.
Goal line QB. Goal line QB.
Coach.
And it's an upgrade over Chad Henne, but Chad Henne was able to get 2 first downs against
That was really a anything possible moment, man. Oh my goodness!
I see what you did there.
Hey, he sacrificed everything for that first down, man.
Listen, that just proves that Andy Reid can scheme anybody like position.
All right,
Did you don't even see the possibility for him to be in Washington?
No. That's my hot take. I'm just saying.
I feel you. No, I feel you.
Yeah, Cam Newton.
It hurts. It hurts, but I feel you.
I want to see it, but that's my hot take.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to give my hot take. I'm going to the NFC East. I'm going with what they call America's team.
I knew that. I already knew where he was going.
But Mr. Jerry Jones is going to make a move this offseason. For some reason, he don't trust his quarterback in Dak Prescott, okay? He don't believe that he's the man. He don't believe that he can lead this team. He don't believe that he can be the leader to take this team to the promised land where they have not been able to do for the last 26 years, by the way. It's been a long time. Miss Hill, you said your Cleveland Browns has been dysfunctional since 1999. Well, this is at least they're not like the Cowboys that have had expectations.
Freddie is in Texas, so just keep that in mind.
At least they're not like the Cowboys who had expectations that called themselves America's team, okay? But Jerry Jones is going to pull off a trade to get a Russell Wilson into the Big Blue. Put it on the star on his helmet. He's going because he's trying to.
Why would he trade for an older quarterback when he could just sign a younger one? Come on, man.
So you mean to tell me
his name is Jerry Jones?
Yes, Jerry Jones.
You mean to tell me? But stop it. You rather have Dak over Russell Wilson?
If I don't have to give up anything but money, if there's anything Jerry Jones doesn't mind doing is spending money.
You're so disrespectful right now, sir. You're so disrespectful.
Russell Wilson, I know my
Russell
team.
Wilson is a top 5 quarterback in this.
I'm not saying he's not, but I'm saying it's easier for him to sign Dak Prescott than to put together a trade for Russell Wilson.
It ain't gonna happen.
And then I didn't finish my hot take. He gonna come there to Dallas, and he's still gonna break you Cowboy fans' heart. They still not gonna win no Super Bowl. And
so now he's a Super Bowl quarterback and he's gonna come to
Freddie. The hatred. Let's move on. We get it. You don't like the Cowboys. We can go ahead and move on. It's just the same thing every week.
One reason why I wouldn't think Russell would go to the Cowboys is because if he said he getting tired of getting sacked in Seattle, why would he want to go to the Cowboys after what that offensive line let happen to Dak?
Exactly.
Because
he was like a little Rexel Petrol or something.
It's a marketing move. Just think about what team out there can you
can't
cross
market
that
if you don't got no legs.
You can't market if you like. Come on now,
That's
Freddie.
right. Can't make no commercials if
You're gonna retire
right.
2 seasons.
Drinking Coca-Cola for the run for his life.
Jay Jones, make it happen. Miss Hill, do you have a hot take?
We were supposed to talk about what division we think is gonna be the best division to watch.
Yes, we could leave right with that.
I mean, first of all, I'm here in the NFC North, and I mean, just look at the NFC North. Part of some of the best defenses, minus the Browns, but we have some of the best quarterback and play the youngest quarterback. So you look at Joe Burrow before he got hurt. I think that Joe Burrow is going to have a heck of a career. Baker Mayfield came on strong, led the Browns to the first playoff appearance in over 26 years. And then you got Lamar Jackson, who, was kind of like a video game at some time. So, the AFC North has always been one of the toughest divisions to play in football, and it still continues on. So I don't even know why y'all talking about any other division. Y'all know this one is the best. And then don't forget,
are we a bit of a homer?
You got the Pittsburgh, but I mean, I just happen to live in the division. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Very homerish. Go ahead.
Got a noodle arm. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with them and quarterbacks and restructuring that deal. But we can't forget about the Pittsburgh Steelers because up until a certain point, they were undefeated and poised to, possibly contend for a Super Bowl position against the Kansas City Chiefs. It didn't happen because the Browns knocked them out. But,
I won a lot of money off that game.
Sorry for you. Sorry. But, everybody thought that, hey, they would be able to challenge Kansas City. So, let's not front. We always know that the NFC North is the best division in football. I'm done.
The NFC or the AFC North?
AFC North, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No. No.
You just got JJ Watt today. Be quiet.
Man, watch us.
Okay.
Watch what we do.
Okay, we know your answer already, Jay. What's understood don't even need to be explained.
There you go.
All right, Chris.
I want to be a homer as well. I want to talk about the NFC East and how everybody's going to bounce back this year. But I can't. But in all actuality, I'm looking at the AFC West this year. I know what Kansas City is going to do, but the Raiders to me they can get in. There's no point in talking about the NFC West. I already did that, so I'm switching over to the AFC side. I like what the Raiders could do, but I'm questioning the coach. I'm looking at the Chargers. They were 7-9 last year with a whole bunch of injuries. If Derwin James is back, my God, I think that's going to boost them up a couple of wins. And I'm looking at the Broncos. Call up Cam Newton, make a trade for Deshaun Watson. Do something, because Drew Lock is not the guy. But as long as you get a quarterback, it'll be fine. So I'm looking at that division next year. Other than my great NFC East, my wonderful.
I can't even say that with a straight face.
Neither can I.
Yeah. NFC East, you need 6 wins to make the playoffs.
Yeah. That's a one-team division.
You see, I want to educate. I'm going to catch you up on something right now. See, I told Chris Brown the time is coming. The time is here, my friend. See, Chris Brown is kind of emotional right now.
How am I emotional?
He's an Eagles fan.
How am I emotional?
Eagles fan.
So now he's a coach.
Since birth. I'm not. Stop it. You're the only bandwagon on here. I can put up the messages for the screen so Miss Hill can see 1 week saying you're a Packers fan, and the next week saying nobody knows who he's a fan of. Since birth, I've been an Eagles fan. I'm never going to change. I went through the Chip Kelly era. Terrible. Okay? I just experienced the Doug Pitt. Nothing is ever going to change, Freddie. We're not like you. We're not bandwagons. It must be easy.
Chris, you know what to do.
What's the next topic?
I'm done. Yeah, what's the next topic? I'm not even going
around. I'm going to go with the NFC East. You know why? Not because of talent, because how hard it is when you don't know who's going to the playoffs. You don't know who's going to be number one in that division. You do not know. It comes to the end.
Thank you.
I can't see my kid looking stuff.
I'm pulling up screenshots. They post some screenshots.
Every time he brings up the NFC East, I'm bringing up screenshots.
Every time we press him,
he's pulling up screen. They got receipts, dude.
Hey, I keep telling Chris I got a movie in the making for him.
I've been waiting because everybody knows I bleed green for the Eagles and red and blue for the Sixers.
Hey, quarterbacks going to the NFC is like landing in quicksand, man. It is a horrible division over there right
But
now.
that's why it's the hardest, because you know at the end of the year you have to worry about a team like the Philadelphia Eagles giving up, quitting.
Win more than 6 games.
That's a one and done league.
That's
man.
what I'm saying. Like, win more than 6 games.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Y'all should be disqualified. That's what should be happening.
Man, Jay, make the playoffs first, man. Stop talking about my division.
Hey, Kenny.
Hey,
Kenny, give us.
I don't know, because honestly, there's really not a division where you can say that there's two. Maybe I might have to go with Jay and go with the NFC West, because that might be the only division where there's 2 teams that you could say for sure that's a playoff team.
Oh, what about the North? The AFC North got 2. For me, it's the Browns and Ravens.
Yeah, the AFC North has
playoff team. Okay, Browns and Ravens. Okay, I give you that.
And
I guess if that's the case, then I got to go. There's probably a toss-up between the NFC West and the AFC North.
Ain't no toss-up.
And
AFC North.
Well, of course, you're home, bro. It's a hard pick.
My family that's watching this that are Ravens fans right now are going crazy.
I get it. I just know it's not the NFC East. That's for sure. I know that.
Not anymore. It used to be the toughest.
Yeah, it used to be the beast.
Hey,
used to be the beast. Not the least.
They don't even get the NFC. They just the East. They just.
Jay, until your team wins, you know what I'm saying? Stop talking about everybody else.
Right.
They should just be a practice league. They just
as long as it's been since we had the championship, we still win count.
Y'all gonna be
all y'all put together.
Y'all gonna be the
Hold on, Kenny. The Cowboys on the show.
Kenny, Freddie's got an advantage because he's a Giants and a Packers fan, so he can add them both championships.
He can add them up.
He can add them both. He can say my team went back to back.
I'm a fan of 2 teams. You just get one.
He's a bandwagon. He jumps back and forth.
Let me update you on this.
There we go.
They want to tell you
the screenshot tells all the stories.
They want to tell you one thing. Let's hear from the.
So you are a Packers fan now? Yes, but I like watching the Giants. I'm a Giants fan. I'm a Giants fan, but I'm a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, these are your words. Like
your words.
Your words.
Miss Hill, I know my mom is watching.
Your mom is going to say everything you ask her to.
But
and still probably don't know what team you like.
But like she always say, you got to hear from the horse's mouth, okay?
I
like Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback. He's the greatest quarterback.
All you got to do right now is say, who is your team?
But I enjoy watching the New York Giants.
Okay.
Once and for all you got to do is say, who is your team?
March 1st, he said New York Giants. March 1st, I'm writing it down. March 1st, and I'm screen recording.
All right, let's move to the next topic, okay? Let's go.
What we deal with, Miss Hill?
Let's go to
and get a straight answer.
Never.
How many quarterbacks will be drafted in the top 10? We'll go with Kenny on this one.
I was looking at it earlier today, and I want to say 4, and the one I'm taking out is Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So I got Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance, and I got Mac Jones out of the top 10. So I'm saying 4.
Jay, how many do you see?
How many there should be is 3. 3 of them should be drafted in the top 10. I think Lance and them that you should be able to wait after that. They still got some stuff to prove to really, especially over the last years of quarterback picks. So yeah, I think it should be 3.
I agree, 3 as well. Miss Hill, do you have a number in mind?
I got 5, but it's gonna be 3. So Trevor, whatever. Trey, Zach Wilson, but also, Justin Fields and Mac Wilson. But I have a feeling that Mac and Justin will drop out of the top 10. So I got 3 going in the top 10.
All right, Chris, take us home.
I have 4 only because I think if it starts getting into the back end, like 8, 9, 10, some teams might trade up to get a, Justin Fields or get a Zach Wilson. So I think if, a lot of these quarterbacks fall to, the 8, 9, 10 range, you're going to see a lot of trade ups. Hopefully my Philadelphia Eagles, I just saw, and I had to say it because it burned a hole in my chest. CBS with a mock draft saying we're drafting Mac Jones. I don't know what I'm going to do. The only football team in Philadelphia is going to be the Philadelphia Union if they draft Mac Jones. Okay? We're switching over to the soccer team.
Go to the coach. Go to the coach.
Look, Mac
Listen,
Jones,
we will have a special draft day special if that happens.
Mac Jones had a great game against Ohio State, and even though Ohio State didn't perform well, that is one of the closest things you're going to get to an NFL team. So, I mean, he was able to pick Ohio State apart. So, that's one of the things, like, I kind of gauged that tape against Sam Darnold when they talked about drafting him. I was like, look how he folded against Ohio State. So I wasn't impressed. But, Mac Jones, he held up, nicely against Ohio State. So
he definitely opened my eyes. I'm still a Justin Fields guy. Ever since for years, I'm still a Justin Fields guy. But I just don't draft a quarterback at 6. Just don't do that, Philadelphia. Do anything else.
Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence are clearly the top 2.
I don't think it should be a debate, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's no question.
But I think the Alabama game dropped Justin.
Well, I definitely think so. But I'm a firm believer if he played his true freshman year, sophomore, junior year, had 3 years, I think he'd be the number 1 pick. But I'm just the Fields. I'm a biased guy, so that's why I feel like that.
Yeah, I think 3 years ago, Justin Fields would have dropped a little bit. I think with the mobility of these quarterbacks that are coming in and what they've been able to have as far as success, I think that's what's propelling him and locking him in that top 2, top 3 range.
Yeah, I'm totally Trevor Lawrence, but whatever. I think that's more of a PR thing, the All-American looks and all that other stuff, where they will be more successful than he truly will be. The only time will tell, but to me, Justin Fields is a better quarterback, but whatever.
I'll say this, though. I honestly was going in thinking Burrow was that. And he really impressed me this year a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, me too. I'll be honest. Me too.
Because sometimes those guys are 1-year wonders.
Yes.
I don't think
we've seen it before.
Yeah.
I don't think Burrow is that. The mechanics, those type of things were so on point, and they've always been. And that's one thing I've noticed about Trevor Lawrence. I was watching his pro day the other day, and his mechanics, even when there's no one there and he's just doing the walkthrough, his motions and everything he does are so on point that's what I think that will make him a long-term success in the league. And that's why I'm still on the fence with him. But I really think Justin Fields is the most talented one out of the draft, out of the pack. I really like Trevor Lawrence, but Mac Jones's arm is ridiculous. Period. And
I gotta give him his props. He kicked my team's butt. I gotta give him his props.
I'm in Jacksonville, so I definitely want to see Mac Jones do well. So Jaguars, just don't draft this guy, please.
Imagine.
Give him a chance to be successful.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. Before we get to the next topic, let's let the viewers know, Chris, how they can get a free T-shirt or they can buy one.
Yes, so you see right there the price $14.99 plus shipping and handle. If you want to get yourself a beautiful ASAP Network T-shirt, you can message anybody on the show, one of the admins, or any of the analysts. They're going to get it back to us. Again, prices are $14.99 plus shipping and handle. We're going to give them to you ASAP.
All right. Let's move on to the next topic. Are the Texans the most dysfunctional franchise as of today? Ms. Hill, I want you to answer. I want you to go first on this one. Are they?
I would say they're up there. Like I said, being a child of one of the worst franchises for 2 decades, certainly understand when your franchise player who just signed a big contract says he wants out, there's something going on, there's something wrong, and then it's Texas. We kind of know how race relations are there, and I think that might be one of the key issues that he has a problem with. You notice when other players, want to exercise their freedom, there's no problem, but people have a issue with Deshaun Watson wanting to do that. Another team that is kind of bad is look at what's going on with Seattle. Russell Wilson wants out. Their owner is dead. Pete Carroll's kind of just doing whatever he wants to be doing. Also, Washington, they don't have a name yet. Look at what happened with Philly with Carson Wentz. The Patriots owner goes to brothels. So you have a few different teams that kind of have some issues, but I think the Texans are up there number
1. All right, Chris.
For a while this offseason, I was saying all over social media, the Eagles are the most dysfunctional franchise. But that was just out of, the the burning hole in my heart because my team is doing all the wrong things. When I sat back and looked, and I don't think it's close. I think the Texans by far are the most dysfunctional franchise out. I mean, you trade away D-Hop for a bag of chips and a running back. Yeah, you have a bottom 3 running game in the NFL. And if it wasn't for Deshaun Watson, it'd probably be the worst running game in the NFL. When J.J. Watt was in his prime, he played every single position. He played quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receiver, and was getting 20-plus sacks. And you let him go, and now your star quarterback wants to leave. So, you know, if they want to save face, I would trade them, get a whole bunch of draft picks, and try to rebuild. Try to find the right GM and right coach and try to build a culture. But I don't see Deshaun Watson wanting to play there. So instead of, prolonging this, just get rid of him now, get a lot of draft compensation, get the right players back, and start building for the future. Because right now, this is a team that it looks like nobody wants to play for. And the more that this Deshaun Watson stuff comes out, unless y'all know he's going to play for you, if you don't know, if you think he's going to leave, the reports that he's going to sit, just get rid of him, save face, and try to rebuild. Because right now, Texans are looking bad.
Sorry, I got a question for y'all. Would y'all trade Deshaun Watson straight up for Baker Mayfield?
No, in a heartbeat.
All right, which side of the fence?
Wait, what side? What side?
Which
If you're
side
the Browns.
Straight
to the Browns.
Straight up.
For
both
the
sides?
Browns, yes.
For the Browns,
The Texans,
of course. Yeah, no way for the Texans.
Wait.
I need picks. If I'm the Texans, I need picks.
No, it's a win-win for both. The
That's
Texans
the thing. It has to be straight up because we still got work we need on the defense. So it got to be straight up, and then we'll take care of the defense later. But I just want to know if y'all would do that straight up.
Mm-hmm. Not if I'm the Texans.
Yeah. No, there's no way. No way.
All right, Kenny.
I was thinking about it, and I thought the Texans were the most dysfunctional franchise until I thought about the Washington football team. Like, they've been for the longest time, like ever since Daniel Snyder has been the owner of that team. Like, they used to be the off-season champion every year. Like, they would bring in all the highest paid free agents, and then they would be terrible. And they've been terrible for years and years and years. They had like 1 year where they won the division. They ruined RG3. Haskins lasted, 1 season, and now he's out of there. So I'm going with the Washington football team as the most dysfunctional franchise, but the Houston Texans are not far behind.
But Haskins, that was doing as Ohio State alumnus. That was on him.
Yeah.
Why that was on him?
But you drafted them.
Hey, but they still cut him too early. You drafted
Yeah, you drafted them.
Yeah, they
All
did.
right.
He got to uphold his end of the social contract.
And you knew he was from the area, so you knew there was going to be some distraction.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. Is the Houston Texans the most dysfunctional franchise as of right now?
This was a sad question. How are you going to ask me that? No, they can continue to send all them presents over our way. We'll take Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson for Kyler Murray straight up?
Huh?
Deshaun Watson for Kyler Murray straight up?
That's not for straight up.
Yeah.
It
shouldn't be a question.
Yeah,
you would do that. Of course you would.
But we'll take Will Fuller too. We need a slot receiver over here. I mean, I'm taking them right away. No questions asked. So I'm not about to rank on a parade. Keep doing what you're doing over there. So I'm gonna have to say again. I'm gonna go with the Jets, man. The reason why they're bad, they're constantly talking about quarterbacks every year. It seems like they went out and got Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell ended up somewhere else at the end of the year. And then you blew the easiest thing you had. Which was the number 1 pick. How you blow that? How you?
Because they beat the Browns.
Because
they beat the Browns.
I know how you accidentally win a game. And then how y'all let them accidentally beat y'all?
That was a crazy game.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised none of y'all said this team. No, y'all all are wrong. The Dallas Cowboys.
You already know.
Let's stop it. You're talking about a team that's been
broken record, man. It's a broken record. How many times
you say it every show for the past 4 months, right?
It's like you just wrong. 26 years of irrelevancy. You talking about
what about the Texans though?
He got the point.
They have no expectations when they call themselves America's team, but this team wasn't represent us like this is America. This is not.
But who calls it America's team? Because it's really not. Only certain people call it that.
Only they fans.
Just the whole country. Just the whole country.
No, not the whole country. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Just a couple guys.
All the haters want to do that now. It's not America's team. But all y'all on Thanksgiving are eating y'all turkey and watching the Cowboys.
They
knock it off. And it's not ever going to change. So deal with it.
I got it.
They sorry.
I know who be saying American team. The scalpers outside the stadium trying to sell the tickets that they got in their pocket. Those are the ones that they call the America's team.
Yeah. Because what's that song called? I'm a pimp in my own mind. So, in their own minds, they are America's team. They're about to move out of that Thanksgiving rotation because nobody wants to see that.
That'll never happen. That was the Lions.
I'm tired of
rotation, but the Cowboys will never.
They've been talking about it. Nobody wants to see Detroit anymore.
The ratings are too high. This league is not going to lose those ratings.
Same ugly throwback uniforms. That darn silver freaking gray helmet.
It's the Lions you did. Not the Cowboys.
Thanksgiving football was not good this year. I'll be honest.
It ain't good any year almost.
Every year's been bad.
Hey, hold on, you guys. Miss Rachel, I want to hear this inside news that they thinking about taking the Cowboys away from the Thanksgiving lineup.
Yeah, talk about that.
Everybody, that's everything news.
Yeah, that's
for
years.
years.
Around because it's atrocious. It's awful. And yeah, ratings are high, but everybody's at home. You're just gonna turn on the game, but
we gonna watch it anyway. It's a tradition.
You turn on the like background noise. You're not even paying attention.
It could be the Lions versus the Jags background.
So they're not. So in that case, then the Cowboys won't be the game of the week on Fox either, too, right? Because they're still the game of the week on Fox too because of the ratings. It's not just Thanksgiving; it's Sunday afternoon too. They get that game of the week because they're American team.
You missing the point. You know why you got ratings? Because there's delusional Cowboy fans like you.
Stating the fact. I'm not delusional. These are the facts.
Jerry Jones's bag is this big.
Right, he can throw money at problems,
right?
But it ain't work.
Yeah, Jerry Jones's bag is this big, about this wide.
Yeah, and the Browns will never have enough money to throw at problems. That's a problem.
First of all, Jimmy Haslam has ripped enough people off. He got enough money.
I sure ain't spending it right then. That's the case.
Don't worry, he'll make it work.
All right, let's keep moving on. Hey, we have a viewer that have a question for you. If you're able to answer that, did the Vikings handcuff themselves with the Kirk Cousins contract?
I mean, Kirk Cousins is one of those people. I don't understand why people are obsessed with him or why we even talk about him. But yeah, I think it's definitely time for a change for them. I just never been a Kirk Cousins fan though, like that.
He's good, not great.
Yeah, it is.
He's like a poor man's Phillip Rivers to me. I feel like.
That's not.
But it's like everybody talk about him like he's so good, and I'm like, I just haven't seen it.
Ever.
He's not going to elevate your franchise. He's just going to be a solid quarterback.
Yeah, that mid-lane, you said like Phillip Rivers, who just like, I'm like, what did you play for? And I feel bad for him. It's like, here you are, now you about to go coach high school, which is great, but I just feel like I don't know. Was Phillip Rivers overrated or what? Or just things just didn't pan out the way they needed to be. I don't know. I'm always in flux about his career.
Me too. Every day. I think about the Chargers teams.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the last football question. Let's get to the NBA. Ms. Hill, this question goes towards you. Can the Browns repeat their success that they had this year on this upcoming season?
I absolutely think so. If you look at it, the Browns actually could have won the division had they been able to beat the Jets. Yeah.
I said it, and they ended up losing to the Jets and lost me a lot.
And guess what? There's no excuse. As much as I love the Browns, I can't excuse when it became 16-20. You had a game at that point. You had the whole fourth quarter left. everybody want to say, well, you didn't have any wide receivers. Okay, well, that means the tight ends have to step up and you need to run the ball, which they didn't do. So, it was almost inexplicable to me how that happened, but it did. And then when Pat Mahomes went out in that game, there's no reason why the Browns should have lost that game once Pat Mahomes. I didn't even know Chad Henne was still in the league. I'm like, Chad Henne, where did he come from? So I feel like, and that was one of the best chances you ever had to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, because they're going to be a thorn in your behind the next few years. And now you have to build a team to get past them when you had the perfect opportunity to beat them. All you had to do was make 2 stops. But if you had a mediocre defense, you could have been playing in the Super Bowl, because I firmly believe we would have beat Buffalo. If you had a mediocre defense that could have got those 2 critical stops on 4th down, you would have been further than what you got. I definitely think that they can get there and go further, but they have to short that defense. And one of the things is they did things in phases. So they got their quarterback. Then they got that offensive line, which was one of the best in business. And then, you had some injuries, and it still was formidable. A guy named Blake came in and saved the day, or what have you. I always think that story is funny. He introduced himself before the game. But once you get that defense going, you get some safety help, you get some linebacking help. You need a mediocre defense at the very minimum in this league, and they just couldn't get stops when they counted. So when you can get those stops, you can go further. So I think that they'll go even further, and maybe win a divisional game. We'll see.
All right. We appreciate that. Hey guys, let's keep it moving. Let's hit the NBA side. We're gonna start an NBA hot take. Who wants to go first in this NBA hot take?
I got it. Let me go first. All right. The coach of the year is going to come down to Tom Tibbs and Monty Williams.
I love it.
With Tibbs right now in the league.
All right. Who wants the second one?
I'll take it.
All right, let's roll.
The Clippers don't win the championship, let alone get to the finals. Kawhi is gone. Y'all know where he's coming. That's all I got to say. If he's coming to Philly. Him and Doc reunion. I've been saying it. I've been saying it for over. Listen, as soon as we sign Doc, let the Clippers not win the championship. He's gonna look around what team to go to. Looking at the East, if he wants to go to a team, be honest, Ben Simmons, and B.
What is it? Oh no, you can't get all 3. You have to do
you can. Tobias gone. Tobias is going. Tobias making $38 million. He's out. Come on, Kawhi Leonard. That's your contract.
Got to be a sign and trade then.
That's fine.
If anything, he's going to redo his mistake. And his mistake is not coming to the Lakers. He went to the wrong place.
There's no way he's going to the Lakers. There's no way he's going to the Lakers.
Miss Hill, do you have a hot take for the NBA?
Yeah, Lakers on 7 over the Nets.
Oh, I love it. You're a smart lady.
Are you assuming a healthy AD?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. No bubble action. But yeah, that's what I got.
All right, Jay, you got a hot take?
The Knicks win a playoff series.
Let's go.
I give it to you.
Let's go.
My bad. I didn't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
Hey, no.
Wait, you cover the Cavs.
I'm telling you, this squad.
Watch your mouth.
Nice.
Cover the Cavs. Watch your mouth.
Fair enough.
They are bringing it every week. They're getting better every week. This squad starting to look nicer and nicer. They win a playoff series this year.
Hey, how much is Kappa going to help with that? You going to help them?
A lot.
Well, I think he's gonna get more. He's gonna bring him along slowly. My only concern with the Knicks is with Tibbs is sometimes he pushes his players too hard, plays too many minutes.
Been saying it for a decade. It's how Devo's got injured the first time.
I think with especially with Julius Randle, like he's really riding him right now. So I'm a little concerned about over the second half of the season, and then coming playoff time, that all of those minutes will catch up to them. So. I love Tibbs as a coach. His teams always play hard and they defend.
He's been doing that since he's been a coach, though.
Yeah.
True, but Mitchell Robinson was hurt for a minute there, a long stretch, and that really put a lot of pressure on Julius Randle having to play those minutes because they didn't have Mitchell there. So Mitchell coming back being healthy, Obi Toppin was hurt at the same time as Mitchell Robinson. So those are two big bodies down there.
He got hurt at the beginning of the season, so he's saying, yeah.
So I mean, honestly, man, I think Red Horse, and I think you should really look at if I'm the Knicks, getting rid of Knox right now, while he's still high on the list of getting a return out of him, and go get somebody else to help out in maybe the 2 or the 3 area that got a little bit more of a jump shot, if you ask me.
Yeah, we could definitely use another shooter.
What you mean we? You a Knicks fan? We, come on, we. No, you in Brooklyn now, buddy.
Okay, Michelle, let me explain. Let me explain. All right, no. I'm a native New York. I'm originally from New York.
Oh, okay.
So let me break it down because he's gonna try to play.
You get a pass in my book.
He just wants somebody on his boat.
He wants. I'm a Knicks fan. Kyrie Irving is family, so of course I root for the Nets because Kyrie is family. That's
like
all.
family for real?
Yeah, Rod Strickland's my uncle.
Okay. Tell Kyrie that we love him and thank you. And I know he don't never want to, you know what I'm saying, like come play here. But I think, like 99.9% of us are grateful to him because we wouldn't have the title. So nothing but love and respect to him and thank you. All right, I'm done. Thanks, guys. Sorry.
Absolutely.
All right, my hot take. And people, when you start spreading this out there, because this needs to be said. And this is because I'm not a Lakers fan, not a homer.
I know what you're about to say, too.
You don't.
I promise you I do.
Say it. I'm going to let you
guarantee this is the Lakers take.
LeBron and defensive team?
I'm switching to my hot take.
I already know. Because for once, I was going to agree with you a little bit.
I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. LeBron's not only going to be the MVP this year, which he should have been MVP a couple times in recent years. We already know. Yeah. He's going to be on a defensive team this year as well. Because you guys see him in his last 2 games. This man is, without an Anthony Davis, the Lakers defense has been exposed. Because when you lose a defensive anchor like that, it's like a Band-Aid, taking the scab off. But LeBron, you've seen that him being that linebacker, that being that defensive coach, that you've seen that him stepping up, guarding the defenders, hustling to take steals, hustling for blocks. This guy's going to be the MVP of the league this year, and he's going to be he's not going to be the defensive player of the year. He'll be on the all-time. He'll be on a defensive team this year as well.
So are you sure he's going to put that effort in on the second half and not save his legs for the playoffs on defense?
Hey, if anything, he should have took off the first half of the season because it's coming back with the short turnaround. So I don't see LeBron taking no games off because he already know what you guys are going to do is going to use that against him. So he's being smart. So.
But he already said that he don't want to take any minutes off. He said he good. So.
No. I'm saying save it. I'm talking about in terms of effort on defense. Because, defense is effort, and sometimes that can drain your legs.
All right, y'all already know take a couple plays off. Y'all already
That's my point. So that whole first team on defense. Yeah,
he's gonna be like, Mark, you get this one. You get this one, Mark.
He had Kuzma pushing him to go close out on like you did a couple seasons ago.
Yeah, that was a couple seasons ago. This is new.
Yeah, right. He's not getting older. But go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So, Miss Hill, I'm crazy to keep going first year this one, but still in Cleveland, so we'll go first year again. Where does Colin Sexton rank in the point guards in today's NBA?
He's a tier 3 point guard. Mm-hmm. One of the biggest knocks that is against him is he doesn't pass the ball. And, and it's funny because I just was listening to something the other day, and other teams say they can play a certain type of defense against him and the team because he's not going to pass the ball. And as a point guard, that's kind of your job to pass the ball, also, facilitate and get your points too, but you have to do that. But I wonder, is his mindset, well, I'm one of the only people who can consistently score, should I sacrifice that in an effort to try to win these games? He was key, in some of the wins, the big wins that we had against Philly, against, the Nets. So it's hard to get in his mind, and you don't want to come straight out and ask him, like, why you being a ball hog? So there could be 1,000 different things that go through his mind. JB Bickerstaff might be telling him, don't pass the ball. We don't know. We don't know what plays are being called in that huddle. So, you know, he's a tier 3 there, 2-3. He has some of the better stats as well compared to people that he was drafted against. I think the sky's the limit for him once he learns how to be an all-around distributor, because everything goes through you, the offense and the defense. So him recognizing that, I think that comes with age and maturation, and it's just not there yet. But he's definitely tier 3, and he can move to tier 2 by the end of the season, possibly next season. But he has to be an all-around player and pass the ball. Get your teammates involved. It's a team game.
All right, Jay.
I agree with her. She was dead on. I think the talent-wise, he has the potential to be a top-tier point guard in this league. He has a tremendous outside jumper. His off the dribble shot is ridiculous. It's hard to guard him straight up. He has dribbles to go past you, keep you off balance. I mean, he has all the skill set. He has the skill set to be a very, very, very good point guard in this league. But she said a few things. He doesn't pass. He shoots when he's doubled, when he's covered. And he's playing with the team that they don't have any other premier scorers, and their other, to me, most talented player that's been in the floor this year has been Darius Garland. I really like the way he plays. So with those, I really like Darius Garland. I think that Darius he's a slow boomer, but I think Darius is very solid. Once everything gets going, he's not going to be a big turnover guy. He's not going to be taking a lot of risks, and he will pass the ball. But I think that Colin Sexton has everything in his tool bag to be a top tier point guard. He's just not there yet at all.
All right, Kenny.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go a little different. I don't think he's a point guard. I think he's a scorer. I think Darius Garland. I think they're better when Sexton is playing off the ball and Darius Garland is playing on the one. So I think they're gonna have to change I think they're gonna have to almost be like Eric Snow and AI, that type of situation, to where and Darius Garland has the size too to kind of guard the twos. So I think that's what they're gonna have to do, because that dude is Sexton is just a pit bull, man. He just, when he makes up his mind to go to that rack, he's going to the rack, and whoever's in his way, he's going through him. So I just think that he's just a scorer at the end of the day, and you just have to build your team around that fact and find and let Darius Garland be the facilitator and just let him be the scorer. So I think he's a 2 in a one's body. That's what I just think. That's what I think about Colin Sexton.
All right, Chris, take us home.
Yeah, Kenny really said it best. I mean, when I look at that backcourt, if we're talking about point guards, for me, Colin Sexton, is right outside of the top 10, the 11 and 12 range. I think he has room to get better as the year goes on. He doesn't pass, but if you look at that team, who's he really passing to? He has to have tunnel vision. There's no disrespect, because I'm a huge JB Bicker. I'm a huge fan of the coach. I think he's helped the team out, but the team doesn't have a lot of talent. Now, when they get talent, things may be different. But end of the game, we saw what he did to the Nets. He closed them out. And, that's the mindset he has to have, and I understand it. So until they get, a lot of talent around him, he's going to have tunnel vision. And like Kenny said, I really think Garland should be the one. I think Garland, I hope he can start shooting the ball a little bit better and really be that facilitator and that shooter, and let Colin Sexton be that bucket that he is. But I truly believe Colin Sexton can easily be a 23-plus point per game scorer in this league. But if we talk about point guards, for me, he's just right outside the top 10.
All right. Let's move to the next topic.
You said right outside the top 10?
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean, I could list them. I'm giving no disrespect. Give me Brogdon, Steph, Dame, Luka, Ben, D. Fox, Drew Holiday, Kyrie, Lowry, CP3, Trae Young. That's 10 right there.
Yeah, he can keep going. He can keep going.
No,
I just said off the top. That's right on. Yeah. That's my top 10.
Yeah, he could definitely 15 to 20. He could definitely slide somewhere in there though, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thoughts on the rookie Isaac Okoro? We'll go with you on that, Ms. Hill.
He's young. They're kind of throwing him at the wolves right now. That's what JB Bickerstaff. So it don't matter what player he was up there guarding LeBron. So it's kind of a situation in which it's going to be trial by fire. He has a limited offensive skill set, but he's kind of displayed it at times. But right now he's young. I think he's 20. No, he's
Yeah, they got a young core, man.
Yeah, I think
He's
like
20.
19, 20.
Yeah.
No, he's
Yeah,
20.
all
He just
three
turned
them three
20.
guys is all around the same age, I believe.
Yeah, very young. And then one of the things I asked him during a press conference one time, and I asked him, was this a seamless transition for him? Because his season stopped abruptly. There's no March Madness. There's no more. And the next thing you know, you're getting drafted and you're about to play in your first NBA game within a day or so. And he was like, yeah, I'm kind of prepared for this, but it's kind of jarring to these people as well. We forget as regular people, our lives are changing. Athletes, they're really rhythmic and they're very used to, a schedule, predictability, and things like that. And, he didn't have that, at a certain point because, he didn't know when he was going to be playing again. So, it's just kind of one of those things in which things are different. This is 2021 and you have to learn a little differently. You have a shortened season as well, too, because they're not playing as many games and, just get the best that you can out from him. And then whatever he didn't excel at this year, you work on for the next year. So, I like it so far. They didn't draft him to score a ton of points. They drafted him for that defense, and he kind of balances out the defense that Darius and Colin does not play.
All right, Kenny.
Yeah, I think she nailed it. Like he was projected to be a 3-and-D guy. So I think that's what they were looking for him to do. Take on that challenge of the wing, the biggest score on the wing, and take that guy and try to, make life difficult for him. And he's just learning. Again, he's young. These guys are young. The three of them, they're all young. So he's just learning his way and taking his lumps. And once he gets a full off season and to be able to really work on his skills and add some stuff to his bag, he has the potential to be a contributor on that team for sure. But he's young, so he's just figuring it out.
Jay, you have anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same thing. I mean, he reminds me, if I'm looking at my home squad, a little bit of the way Cameron Johnson came in last year, just real slow. And everything was very subtle. The improvements I saw were very subtle. And he's a good shooter, like Kenny was saying. So if we let him sit, and then the fan base doesn't jump on him too much, he'll bud. And again, they got a young core, Jared Allen, and all them now on there.
Yeah.
It's gonna sprout, and when they sprout, it may not be for another 3 years or so. But when they sprout, it's gonna hit. You can say
Hang in there.
The East is hard now. You got Brooklyn.
Hang in there.
I got a
Hang in
couple
there.
of guys. For me.
Hang in there. This is the Kyrie early years part 2.
Mm-hmm. But they ain't as good as Kyrie. That's the thing.
Kyrie was special.
Yeah. Tell him if he want to do my show, he can. He always welcome to.
I got you.
All right. This next question, I'm making a 2-part question. What is the ideal return for Andre Drummond in the trade? And what is the status of Kevin Love? We'll go with you, that Ms. Hill.
Andre Drummond, I prefer to see that team deal and get a small forward in there and a better shooting player, maybe another shooting guard possibly. And Kevin Love, he got engaged.
That's the status update.
That's it.
That's the status update.
That's all you got.
Hey, that's so real though about Kevin. He ain't play ball in a minute. It's like he didn't play ball ever.
Hey, there you go.
Hey man.
Yeah, it's kind of like you hate to see what's kind of happening with Andre Drummond because he wants to play, and that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna sit on the bench, but he's getting paid $29 million to sit the bench, and collect a check until March 25th. So, hopefully maybe the Cavs do right by him and, send him to a contender for, a couple veterans or something like that. But I do feel like you need a little bit of veteran leadership on the team because, like I said, is getting engaged. That's it. He was one of the main catalysts for what happened with John Beeline, and one of the reasons why that didn't work out. So I don't really look at him as a leader on this team. Tristan Thompson was one of the ones who held him down, and he's gone to Boston. So everybody else on that team is really young, and Delhi, he Australian. But other than that, I think that they need some better veteran leadership that's buying in and ready to take this journey. Because if you think about it, most of the veterans, they was on that championship run. So, nobody wants to be part of a rebuild. And So, I just think that you need to do right by Andre and, try to get some veterans in here that kind of have some immediate impact to the team to kind of balance out what you got with the youth.
So, Michelle, you saying you need a leadership, a good locker room guy, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got a guy named Jared Dudley we can send you.
Oh my God! Let's move on.
No,
I just had to try. I was going to reach out to my guys in LA to see if that trade would work.
You keep them.
All right. So, any of you guys want to touch on that?
No, I just want to see him go to a winning situation.
Me too.
Andre Drummond is since he's been in the league, he's pretty much been on losing teams. I think they had maybe one playoff run when he's with Detroit, if that. So I just want to see him get in a winning situation. I would love to see him in Boston. We talked about this last week.
Yes, we did.
I would love to see him in Boston and be that guy in the post for them to be able to play off of, Kemba and Jason Tatum and my guy Jalen. So yeah, I just want to see him in a winning situation.
And he is the nicest guy too. So people like that because we all know that athletes have different temperaments, but Andre is one of the nicest people to definitely hope that he goes to a better situation in which it's going to contend for something. So I'd approve Boston. I'll allow it.
All right, let's move to the last two topics. Let's give our top 5 MVPs as of today. Let's go with let's start with Jay on this one.
Well, obvious LeBron is up there. Giannis is having a good season. Embiid is having a fantastic season. I mean, all right, so I'm going to put Devin Booker. I don't care none of y'all say. Devin Booker needs to be in there.
You stood by that one.
He's killing the game right now. And I'm a fan of Jokic. I really want to say the Joker, but for them, I'm just looking. It's hard for me to say him, even though he's performing out of this world, because they were in fourth last year, second last. What was it? Top 3 last year, and they're fighting. They're clawing for 7th and 8th. So it's just really hard for me to put him in that conversation with the other 4 teams and where they're at. So, but I'm gonna have to say the Joker.
All right, I got number 1. You got LeBron.
Number 2, LeBron.
Number 2,
Anthony Davis.
Number 2, I got Steph Curry. Man, Steph Curry is balling, man, out of his mind. Number 3, I have Joel Embiid. Number 4, I have Chris Paul. The way Chris Paul is playing, leading that Phoenix Suns team, everybody give Devin Booker the credit, but hey, without Chris Paul, it will not be that team. They need that. We see what he did in OKC, and he's doing the same thing in Phoenix. And number 5, I'm going with the Joker. Number 5.
I just don't understand what it is with the rest of the world and why they do not want to give Devin Booker.
There's no hate. I love Devin Booker.
But why don't they want to give him his due? He didn't make the
All-Star. Because he just started putting up numbers on the winning team. That's why.
Exactly.
CP3.
He's been putting up numbers on the losing team. Now he's starting to put up numbers on the winning team.
You know,
He's been putting the same numbers. Now we just winning.
That's what I mean. He's winning. That's the difference.
always give the credit to LeBron at his age, but look at CP3 at this man's age, continue doing what this man is doing, and this year his career. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
But can CP3 win you a title, man? Because I'm just like, when you look at the span of his career, he could win a playoff series. I just, like him and Melo, it's just like,
But you know, the MVP is the regular season award.
But
so,
CP3 ain't to me, man. CP3, he's always held his thing down.
Carmelo's slander will not be allowed.
What'd you say?
Carmelo slander will not be allowed to carry my Knicks for years.
I mean, he was not doing
that. He's never on the Nets.
Not doing that.
He's never on the Nets. What are you talking about?
I said he's carried my Knicks for years.
You're not a Knicks fan.
Go ahead, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Fire up on you. Go ahead.
This year, give us a top 5.
LeBron, Steph, Giannis, who else did I have? James Harden and Kevin Durant, the Durantula.
Oh, wow. All right, Chris.
MVP, of course.
What happened?
Chris, can I take some on this one?
You know my number 1's Embiid. Number 2 is Harden. Number 3 is Braun. Number 4 and 5 to me are somewhat interchangeable. Right now, I got Giannis and D Book. Dame was my number 5, but they're on a 4-game losing streak right now. So my number 5 is D Book. And I did pick D Book to win MVP in the beginning of the year, and I got proof. Nobody wants to believe me. I'll gladly post it on the page.
Screenshot?
I got the screenshot.
He did.
We
need this highlight clip. We need this highlight clip real.
Because I be hitting everything. I predicted Chris Paul to the Suns when the playoff bubble was just starting. Look how that turned out. So Jay, you're welcome for speaking that to existence.
All right, top 5 NBA teams as of right now. Kenny, we'll let you get yours out the way.
Top 5. Okay. Nets, Lakers, Clippers, Utah, and the Sixers.
Clippers. Jay, top 5.
Utah, Philly, Suns, Lakers, Bucks.
Wow.
Miss Hill.
Jazz, Nets, Lakers, Suns, Bucks. Power 5.
Chris.
You know, I don't do the future stuff. I'm talking about right now. Right now, I got the Nets, Suns, Jazz, Lakers, Bucks.
All right. I got the Lakers. I got the Bucks.
Lakers.
Suns.
Lakers. The Lakers.
All right, but before we finish the show, I do have something I want to read because reading is fundamental. That's one of This is a tweet. Says LeBron plays by a different set of rules.
Oh boy!
The only player in NBA history that get judged like he be playing in individual sports.
Why are we doing
this?
This is the Brooklyn Nets lost last night without 2 superstars. Does that mean that they're no longer contenders, or is that just for LeBron and the Lakers? Now y'all see how dumb y'all be sounding on this count. I mean,
no, sir, we do not. Let me explain something to you. I don't know why you feel that way. LeBron James is he's won championships. LeBron James, he draws this energy. He when he hopped around in Miami, and when he signed there, he had a big escapade for the signing. He likes this. He likes this.
Also, we're in the era. Go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead.
We're also in the social media era where everybody in the world has a platform. So if you expect nice things to be said 24/7, the right things to be said 24/7, that's not going to happen. Everybody can say what they want to say. That's why when people live their life on social media, when it's like, listen, you're not always everybody's going to have something mean to say just because they don't want to be positive all the time. That's just how people are. Nobody's always going to.
I'm not saying that, Chris. I'm saying people like Kenny, they go lose. They're not contendable. They don't hear the same thing about when KD and Kyrie.
But first of all, without KD, They would have won 9 straight if Kyrie played against the Mavs. Let's just be honest. When's the Lakers winning 9 straight? They went 8-2 in their last 10 games. Where'd the Lakers go? So there's nobody saying all these wild things. They're talking about what's going on right now. And right now, the Nets are playing. My energy is always the same. We're talking about You always want to talk about the future. I'm talking about March 1st. I'm not talking about May. I'm not talking about June. I'm talking about March 1st.
Man.
Yeah, because last week you was talking about y'all needed 21 people on the roster.
Exactly.
You ain't got enough. Yeah, get out of here.
Now you want Andre Drummond. You know, we know he wants everybody.
Genie. He was over there rubbing the trade genie, waiting for the trade. Talking about
we need to add another piece. We have depth in it. We need to add another piece. Man, flip.
Y'all see Damian Jones the other day? I asked for another big. We got it.
Yeah, what are you going to do against Embiid? Don't mean nothing. If Big can't guard Embiid, we guard it. That's all that matters.
All right, you guys. This is another wonderful show, the ASAP Real Talk. Miss Hill, we thank you for coming on. We appreciate
you. Yes, we do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Anytime, guys.
No problem. Hey, just let everybody know in Cleveland that there's another network out there called the ASAP Network, and it's read aloud. Let them know about us.
It's LeBron lover and Freddie.
Yes,
he'll fit right in.
Cleveland. Yeah,
if LeBron go back, Freddie going with him. So
absolutely.
No, I'm a Laker fan. I'm a true Laker fan. No.
Yeah, he's a Laker fan, but he likes LeBron.
Yeah.
No, I like it because he's on my Cleveland go.
Same thing with football. I'm a Laker fan, but I like LeBron.
Yeah, we know.
Go ahead.
So you know, we'll let our viewers know that this week we have a full roster of guests. On this upcoming Thursday, we have the Zydeco Spice women's football team coming on the show this Thursday. So you definitely want to see us and talking to the females about their adventures in that sport. And on this Saturday, we have a special show. We have Mr. the one and only Rob Parker coming on the show Saturday morning.
Rob.
You do not want to miss that. It's going to be crazy. I was not able to be on there last time when my friend Chris Brown challenged him on the MJ Go Talk, but this time I'm going to put Rob in his place. Now, there's going to be a way, there's going to be a how, because I'm going to be on the show. So you guys do not want to miss that show as well. And it's going to be Chris' birthday going to be Saturday, too. So we're going to have to, how old are you going to be, Chris?
20.
Woo, I remember I was going to be 20. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Tender. Young mush mouth.
So it just got reported that the Browns coach offered more than to J.J. Watt.
That just goes to show y'all.
That's why would you
goes to show y'all.
Why would you go to the Arizona over Cleveland? Arizona's a Hail Mary away from being 6-10.
It's the weather.
Exactly.
It's just so many different things out here. It's distractible. And now we got the.
No, it's D-Hop. It's D-Hop. It ain't the weather. It's D-Hop.
He wanted to be reunited.
He didn't want to get double teamed no more.
One of his first criteria was choosing a team, the quality of the quarterback.
Ooh, shot that Baker.
Oh, shot fired. Shot fired.
That's that Baker.
Shot fired.
They were going to go to the Giants.
We know that.
or the Cowboys.
Jay, don't get me on it. We're about to end this show. We'll pick back up next Monday about that, sir.
And we'll still have Watt.
Well, like I said, hey, it was wonderful having a show with you, Mr. Michelle. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching our show. Thank you for watching our show. Please follow the page, like the page. You can also see our hey, why not? I'm going to show you my little hype video for our expansion page. Why not? Let's go. If it'll play. What's up, you guys? This is Freddie Henderson from the All Sports All Plays Network. You've seen me before on All Sports All Plays Network, but guess what? Coming soon, we're expanding the network. It's going to be called Talking All Sports and All Plays Network. You can see me, Jonathan Mathis, having a show called The Truth, presented by Talking All Sports All Plays Network. We ask if you can like the page, follow the page, share the page. You will not want to miss out on this great content that we're going to share to you each and every night. Tune in. to Talking All Sports, All Plays Network. This is your boy Freddie. So can't wait to see. I will say that's a good looking young man on it right there.
After that video, you know, the producer's doing this, that means wrap it up.
Hey, like that page, follow that page as well. Hey, see you guys Thursday.
We out.
You guys have a good night.
Peace.
See you Thursday.